And here I is, all late on CP time, but at least I made it. You don't know how I was like busting up the stairs to turn my computer on and get everything set up. Oh, the traffic is already started because I live. My exit is one of two that you can take to get to this big shopping mall, and it's already started. So I'm gonna have to plan better on my return trips home when it comes time for a show because I'm just coming at the time I usually come, and that did not work. As you see, it got me here like 10 minutes 15 minutes later than I normally would have been for the start of the show, so I'm a little late. Hey everybody, what's happening today? Oh, hold on a second. Today, this is an idea that was yes, the traffic is just getting this time of year. If you live by a mall, it just sucks for you. But this conversation, somebody suggested this, I don't know, last week or so. I was looking for some ideas for topics on Facebook, and a woman suggested, why don't you talk about these boring ass men? And I thought, well, I kind of did when I talked about the basic dudes. But then I looked at that video, I kind of hopped around through it, and I was like, well, now I see what she means. It's like these guys definitely are boring because they're basic, but it doesn't have anything to do with you know the real boring nature that was probably in place before they became basic. So what you say? Some African elders say that time is a European concept. That motherfucker don't know his history. The Egyptians were talking about, and the Sumerians were talking about time and using sundials and shit. So he don't know what the fuck he talking about. YouTube is acting up again. Oh my God. Why? 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 I don't know. I think it seems like it's working for some people unless it just cut out. But I'm not surprised because I'm convinced that somebody at YouTube hates my guts. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that there's this wait till my show to come on, and they're like, there's that bitch, let's fuck up her show. And they start mashing buttons to make it mess up. That's what I'm starting to think. Because it happens too much. It's been happening too frequently, and it happens, on every stream that I do just about. But I want to talk about boring men. Let's talk about men that's boring because a lot of the guys have under the misconception. I was thinking about this today while I was sitting in traffic trying to get off the off the freeway. A lot of these guys think that women reject them and don't want to be bothered with them, or their relationships go up in smoke because they're nice guys and women want thugs. That's in their head. That's the way that they have twisted around reality to be something that they can deal with. Is to protect their egos. In reality, dudes, no woman wants to be bothered with you because you're boring as fuck. You're boring, you're boring, you're boring. Ain't nothing about you exciting since you were born. That was the most exciting moment in your fucking life. Your mother's, doctor slapping your ass and hearing you scream. So, it's like when you talk to a lot of dudes, and I don't know if you guys notice this when you go to some of our people's homes, there's no books. There's no books. They don't never read nothing. There might be a Bible. Okay, there might be that. Maybe some kids that go to school might have some school books at the house. But I'm talking about for the adults. There's no books. That they don't read shit. Um, they have like TVs in just about every room. The men can only talk about, the sports, video games. I'm trying to cover, a wide range of male ages here. So that's why it may sound silly for the older people, but I'm putting everybody in this bucket. They talk about video games, they want to talk about smoke, what kind of smoke I'm talking about. They want to talk about, who got sent up or who about to get out. They're gonna talk about sports on TV that they watching and betting and all this kind of stuff. They're gonna talk about what women they trying to get at, got rid of. whatever, something about a woman complaining about some woman. Or they're going to be complaining in droves about why the woman that they want doesn't want them. And if these type of guys get around women, what they tend to do is mansplain. These are the kinds of motherfuckers that know more about you, according to them. They know more about you and what you need and what you like and what you want and what you should want and should like than you do. They know more. They could easily slide into your body and take over your life because that's how knowledgeable they are about the female experience and love to tell you what you shouldn't think, what is can't be true, and that not all men are like that. Okay, when your rhetoric is so predictable, my brothers, that a woman can know what you're going to say before you even say it. When the things come out of your mouth are the same mundane drivel that comes from the lips of hundreds of thousands of other dumb motherfuckers just like you, please tell me why some woman would want to go out with you. You like a fucking cookie cutter. Nothing about you is unique. Nothing about you is exciting. Nothing about you gets a woman's attention or keeps it. You're the same as everybody else. And in most of these instances, this everybody else is somebody who's stupid and another reject and somebody that no one. So you see them online, right? And all that's all they want to talk about is what women don't do, what women should do, what women should like, all this stuff. Okay, so their whole focus is on women. Okay, now you've been talking about this shit for the last 10 years. Okay, you still ain't got no booty. Nobody want to be with you. You still talking about getting a woman and it ain't happened. Ladies will tell you what you need to do different and you don't want to hear it. You want to try to force them to do what you want them to do. And they're not ever going to do that. Okay, so that's not going to happen. So you're going to be forever stuck on this ideal and ranting and raving and saying the same things over and over and over and over and over, thinking that someone is going to change for you instead of you changing yourself to get what it is that you claim that you want in life. Part of that comes with knowing how to talk to women, calling women bitches and hoes and sluts and thoughts and all this kind of stuff. That won't get you nowhere because she's going to see that. People forget that you when you're on the internet and you talking and you showing your face and you talking, your voice is there and you got, people are gonna know who you are offline. Okay, they're gonna know who you are, and then that's going to spread. So you guys who think that you shouting all this rhetoric in cyberspace and stuff, even if the person who knows is your sister, your mother, your brother, your housekeeper, somebody knows who you really are, and they're gonna tell it. And then those people are gonna tell it. And before you know it, thousands of people are gonna know that you the dumb motherfucker that was online talking all this shit about women. And do you think that in your municipality, once word spreads, that anybody's going to want to go out with you? No, because you've painted yourself to be an idiot. Talking about women hitting walls and all kind of dumb shit like that. Oh my God. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I wanted to talk about, let's talk, and you ladies, feel free to chime in with what you think are some of the things that guys do that makes them boring, because even if it's not in my presentation, it will be in the chat, which will be shown as part of the replay thing, and they'll be able to see what you have to say, and hopefully it will trigger something. And there's plenty of, I already did a video on boring ass women, and I basic women too, so I hit them from both sides. So now we'll have the dudes from both sides. And I tell you, okay, I found this article that says the number one sign that you're a boring person. And they show this man yawning on the front. And it says 65% of people worry that they've become too dull, according to a survey of Americans. In the poll, researchers found that 1 in 7 people feel they don't have any interesting stories to dish out when they're around other people. Okay, how boring must your life be if you don't have shit to say that's interesting? I mean, I could talk about the shit I've done and heard and said, and places I've been, and crazy, whacked out stuff I've observed, and all that for days, days. Because I know nobody's ever gonna be bored being in my presence. I know that for a fact. If anything, they're gonna leave going, well, goddamn. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of dudes that only like, sports. That's all they want to talk about. Okay, I mean, I like basketball and stuff. You know what I mean? I even had, a boss that had some season tickets. So I was constantly in his ear begging for them tickets. I wasn't paying for them though. I'm just wanting him to give me some. And I watch it on TV. I watch the NBA, playoffs. I watch all of that stuff. I like college basketball. I am a I like basketball. Okay, but is that all that I want to do? Is that all that I want to talk about? No. But you will meet so many people, and men especially, that have no hobbies and no interests. They have no passion in life, and that makes you a dull ass boring fucker. And it's the same if you a woman, and all you do is go to work and come home, and all you can talk about is your kids and your nigga. See that shit? I have fired so many women. I'm like, you know what? You just said that same shit a week ago. This is like an instant replay. Every week you got the same conversation. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I've hurt many people's feelings like that. But you know what? I don't care because it's like, it's better your feelings be hurt this one time than you hurt mine every time I pick up the phone. Now, I've been, cool. I listen. But now I'm tired of listening and I'm ready to do something else. And I tell them that. I don't want to talk about your kids anymore. I don't want to talk about your nigga anymore. And I don't want to talk about none of this shit you talking about that you saw on TV. I don't watch TV because I think it's stupid. So, I mean, in a situation like that, I have nothing in common with that woman. So why would we keep talking? And it's the same with you dudes. You try to talk to a woman, you want to talk about yourself. You want to talk about your job. Well, unless she has the same career as you or something that's, an integral part of your career. I mean, she just needs to know the basics. She don't need to know the fine details of everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. You're going to make her just want to dry up and blow away out of boredom. Anything to escape you. Oh my God. He didn't even have a GED? Oh my God. Yes, I fire friends. I fire enemies. I fire coworkers. I'd be like, get out. Okay, so then the article continues. This says, um, only being interested in talking about yourself is the top reason someone might find you boring, the survey found. Having no sense of humor, complaining a lot, repeating the same jokes and stories, saying the same things over and over, and constantly checking your phone also top the list. Now, as we think about the guys that we come across online, they do 3, 4 out of the 6 things here. They have no sense of humor. They complain all the time. They repeat the same stories over and over. And they have the same complaints over and over. So that's 4 out of the 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So it's like, why would someone want to talk to you? They're just going to be hearing the same things repeatedly. All right. So let me toss that one. That was the only thing I found interesting on that one. Then, this one girl, she says, I was like, well, what kind of men do you find boring? Just like I asked the ladies here. What is boring? Okay, not something that, be very careful when your responses, because boring isn't like things that are like a turn off, like habits, like grooming or something like that. That's not boring. That's just nasty. Boring is is referencing interaction or lack thereof. So kind of narrow that down because I'm seeing some stuff on here that's not really under the category of boring. It's under the category of bad habits or something like that. But I'm talking about the way that people interact with you or present themselves. Those things will qualify as boring. Okay. Um, so this woman, she says, well, let me give you some examples from some dates that I have. This one guy was late and he didn't apologize. So see, she made her mistake, first of all, by still going out with him. So, I got to put that on her. Then he proceeded to tell me that everything I did was easy and I clearly wasn't all that intelligent. So, see, he's just putting her down. He's full of negatives, which makes people bristle and hate your fucking guts. So, you saying shit like you're going to hit a wall and stuff, please just tell me how that's going to make a woman want to talk to your fucking ass. She's going to want to put your ass in a wood chipper. That's what she's going to want to do. Okay, so then she says he asked me questions but didn't wait for me to take a breath before butting in and telling me that there was no point in me answering because he was enlightened and had read my stars. He had absolutely nothing positive to say. It was a half hour of my life that I will never get back. Oh my God. Yes. Number two, he kept asking questions, but he wasn't all that interested in me. He just wanted me to ask those questions back. He was flummoxed when I asked different questions. Conversation didn't flow, and quite frankly, it was awkward as hell. I like physical touch, but this guy tried to force the issue so much that when we were walking, he ended up pushing me into a bush of nettles. Oh my God. So she tried to, like, I guess, kind of veer away from him, and he kept going closer, closer, closer. So she ended up falling into the bushes. Oh my God. Um, she said another date, she said he wanted to prove me wrong all the time. He spent longer Googling things than actual conversation. He couldn't have an opinion until he had Googled it to make sure that it was right. Number four, this one put no effort into anything and felt the world owed him something. He had no motivation, no spirit, no drive, no ambition, no passion, no nothing. He just sat there and did nothing. And so this one girl says, well, guys who don't think are boring. They don't have a favorite color. They brag that they haven't read a book since high school. They like hunting, fishing, walking on the sand, and anything mechanical and guns. They watch nothing but sports on TV, haven't seen a movie in the theater in years. They believe Fox News is the only source of information. They spout religious dogma to justify being an asshole. Yes, we've all experienced them. They believe feminist is a dirty word. They have six favorite foods and refuse to dine anywhere that doesn't serve that fast food style menu. If asked their opinion about anything that falls outside of their work or hobbies, they frown and look confused. I don't bother to think about things like that, they say, as if there is an entire world of people outside their door. They can't carry on a conversation about any subject outside their work or hobbies. Okay, it's like, what is it? I wonder what it is that guys think when they go on a date that a woman is looking for. What is it that they think a woman's looking for? I can tell you what women are looking for. Women are looking for a connection emotionally. Now, most guys are what I call like little professor types. They might know, say they know something about, I don't know, dinosaurs. Let's just throw that out there. They know a lot about dinosaurs. So they're going to start talking to you about, all these different types of dinosaurs and pulling up pictures on their phone to show you these kind of dinosaurs. And basically, you're going to feel like you're in an anthropology lesson, lecture at university. And okay, that's great. He's giving you information and you're learning something that may or may not be valuable to your life at some point. Like maybe if you're playing Scrabble or something, it might come in handy. You like to do the New York Times word crossword puzzle, it might come in handy. You go on a game show, it might come in handy. But as far as building connection between you and he as a man and woman in a romantic way, it does zip zero nada. If anything, puts you in the negative. Okay, so you started at zero. That was your opportunity to build. But you did super shit, and so now you at minus 40. So in order to get back to zero, you got to do some struggling. And most women don't want to waste their time and let you have that struggle time, so they just walk on and go on to the next dude, and then you sit there with your mouth poked out talking about, that's what's wrong with these women. They don't want a good man. They just like thugs. You know why women like what you call thugs, which is not thugs? Because it's like they feel like there's only two kinds of men in this world. Men who are stupid like them, and then guys who are like gangsters. What about all the dudes in between? Teachers and longshoremen and police officers and deputy sheriffs and, security guards and people that work in retail and people that work in construction and people that that are religious dudes and people that are married with kids. And I mean, there's all kinds of men on this world. It's not only quote your kind and then thugs. It's so stupid. It's so juvenile. And when you hear men say stuff like that, you automatically know he's a dummy. And it's like you get you guys put yourself in the reject pile. Shit like that. That kind of conversation is boring. Boring, boring, boring. It makes women already know your mindset is and your IQ is like 5, and she don't want to be bothered with you. You're boring. You just repeat the same bullshit that every other knucklehead says. It's like you guys all have a textbook. It's called how to be stupid and lose women, and you all flipping through it, and you didn't pay any attention to what the cover and the title is, and you all repeating and shit and memorizing and shit, and then you get online and you say the same thing, and you turn every woman that comes into contact with you off. Every one of them totally turned off. You guys, let me see what some of these ladies are saying. Uh-oh. She started falling asleep. He was so boring. Dude was like, am I that boring? And I was like, what you think? Hell yeah, he was. Yeah, they're very immature to expand their mind. I'm sorry, but if I had seen some shit like that, girl, I would have been rolling. I don't have good sense. But one of the things that always bothered me, I remember as a little kid, my parents would take us out to dinner. Not often, but honey, when we went, we would be so excited because we usually had to eat at home. And occasionally they would take us out, and I used to just be amazed. My parents always had shit to talk about. My father was so funny, and my mother had ideas about everything. She's very well read, and so they always was debating something, not arguing, debating something or talking about something, laughing and all that stuff. And then we would join in. So my family meal times and times like that, it was always very lively and full of stimulating conversation and what ifs and what would you do's kind of thing. My dad would make us think, and it was always very entertaining and very lively. So when I go on a date, I expect to be entertained, and I want some like shit to be lively. And so you get with these dudes, and they don't have anything to say. I mean, they looking around, they don't have nothing to say, and it's like why are we here then if you're not going to talk to me? I mean, what was the point of this little exercise? It's just stupid. And you look around and so many, you see couples together that they're older. They married. You could tell they've been together for a minute. And the husband is doing whatever. Like, people used to be reading newspapers. Now I guess they read on their phone. Because as a little kid, that's how you see the men would sit there and they would read the newspaper and totally ignore their wife and kids that were right there. And I would look at those women. I was only, a kid. I'm talking like 10, 11, 12 years old. And you could just feel the loneliness and the desire these women had to get this man's attention. The kids that want their daddy's attention, just to look at them and smile and acknowledge them. And the man, he's just in his own fucking world, just totally oblivious to how he's ruining everyone's life with his stupidity. And it just really is really sad. So these kind of guys don't understand that unless you're making a connection to the people that love you or the people that want to love you and making an effort to connect to their hearts, then they're going to find you unexciting and uninteresting. And when a woman is turned off and you're not exciting and not interesting, it doesn't matter that you have all these other good qualities. It doesn't matter that you have a great job and you got a PhD and you got all the stuff. You're not going to ever catch her because you not offering her anything. Women are looking for men that have a passion about something. Even if your passion is like race cars or, motorcycle riding or painting, like artistic painting, drawing and sketching, photography, building stuff. You're very handy with wood and stuff. You like to build shit. I mean, we want to see you have something that is a passion for you, that brings you excitement, that brings you joy. And then we need you to spread some of that joy and that excitement and that passion to us. There is nothing better than a man who can do that, and a man who is full of surprises. I'm not talking about bad ones like he shows up because he got some bitch pregnant and y'all married. I'm not talking about those kind of surprises. I'm talking about a guy who surprises you with, exciting trips or new experiences. I mean, with him, life is an adventure. It's exciting. You can't wait till to see what the next day is gonna bring. Oh my God, men like that are like gold, just golden, and they always have a lot of women. But see, that's what's so messed up because these little other dudes see that and they think that that guy is a thug because he's got a lot of women. In reality, he just knows how to talk to people and relate to people, and you don't. And what's so sad about this is when you start looking at the way that I was reading this report. Let me see if I can find it right quick. The scientific study when they talked about how the ways that men and women's brains work. Um, a lot of the men seem to be like, and as a normal thing, the way that they relate to people is like on the autism scale. It's really kind of bizarre. Um, Let me see if I can. Oh, is it in this paper? I don't think so. But I was like, whoa, no wonder uh, so many guys get ignored. These like trying to, relate to someone who has autism, and this, according to the study, is the normal way that most men are. I can't, I didn't have time, like I said, to get organized because um, I was racing in this door, flew up them steps, turned on shit, was running around like a maniac. I didn't even change clothes. This is what I had on. So it's like, oh well. This other point this guy was pointing out that um, he said, how a lot of guys say, well, you know, they don't want a guy to treat them well. They want a guy who's going to dog them out. And, that's why they don't want me. No woman wants a man who's going to dog her out. What they want, though, is a man who brings some heat, brings some excitement. Oh, their new experience is going to a new corner Chinese store? Yeah, in the same neighborhood. These dudes, I dated this dude. Oh my God, he drove me crazy. Okay. I like new shit, right? I like new shit. I want to see new shit. I want to see new ceilings. I want to see new wall. I mean, I want to see new tables and chairs and a new restaurant menu. I want to see new shit. Okay, so I'd found this Chinese restaurant. At first, he didn't want to go there, but the thing was highly rated on Yelp or something, and it was like not too far from his house. I said, "Have you ever been there?" He's like, "No." I go to this Chinese restaurant, that's by my house where I grew up. I'm like, how many years you been eating that shit? Okay, 20 years. Okay, the people about to fucking retire and shit. So you need to find a new restaurant. So I drag him to this place, right? Oh, he loves it. Do you know every time after that we want to go out to, he want to go to that same restaurant? I said, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna try some other new places too. So gradually, I got him used to trying new places, but it was like pulling teeth because he did not want to do it. He did not want to do it at all. So when guys talk about women want thugs, what do women really want? They really want, like I said, some adventure. Okay, we like a little bit of mystery. We like excitement. We like surprises, and we like uh, things that bring us joy. Okay, we also want to see you have some joy about something. So if you have a man that delivers all of those things, sometimes though it does come in a package where the other aspects of him are not so great. Like he's not dependable, but he's spontaneous and exciting, and or he's not, half works or whatever. But he'll take you on some adventures, honey. So there's a balance there, and women, when they're really young, they have to find their way through that. But I'm just talking about the part where you're boring, and guys who have the means to bring about adventures and to change how they relate to women. That's why we're talking about this. You guys who think, well, when you want to go on a date, you don't go out the box. Your date is dinner, a movie, or drinks and dinner, or lunch and a movie, or that's pretty much it. That's your idea of a date. Don't you remember me telling you guys about the guy who, now this life with this dude, I mean, he was a little bit too much for me. I knew what he was all about, so we were just friends. But as far as the person who brought me the most memorable dates and the most memorable time spent with him, it was this one dude. The one who took me on the date where we went down to East 14th Street in Oakland, now known as International Boulevard, and we sat with some binoculars in the car and watched men from coming from the suburbs, all these white dudes with like car seats in the back of their vehicles and stuff, and pick up these young black and Latina girls for in prostitutes. That's what they was down there picking up, prostitutes. And I had never seen no shit like that. I mean, did you hear about it? You know what I mean? You see it like on in movies and whatnot. But I mean, I saw this with my own two eyes, and he knew that I would be like, "What?" And that it would be something that was different for me and exciting. So we had food and we stopped. We had burgers and shit in the car. We was eating and drinking. I was, did you see that shit? As soon as we did that for about, I don't know, maybe 2 hours or so, that was enough of that. But that's what I'm saying. A man who thinks outside the box. Now, you don't have to go that far outside the box, but he had known me for a couple of years, just platonically. So he knew how my mind worked and he knew the kind of stuff I wrote about and all that. So he knew it would be something that would be right down my alley. I'm telling you, that dude had my number. That's why I was scared of him. I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. Plus I knew he wasn't really a nice person. So I'm like, I'm not gonna get involved with this. But as far as what I'm talking about the exciting and the passion, he was very cute, and he would do stuff like he would like stand like, okay, we're standing together, right? We're just and just sitting there talking, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden he would stand like real close to me, right? And then, like I said, he was very cute, very attractive. But I knew he was an ain't shit nigga, so it was no point in him. But I'm just talking about what he did and how, like, if he was okay, then it would have been on like Donkey Kong. But I had my walls up. I wasn't doing anything with him. So he would stand real close, right? And he was about, I don't know, probably about 6'1", 6 feet, 6'1", just say 6 feet. Well, I'm only 5'5", and then with heels on, I'm about 5'7.5" or so. So he was still higher than me. So I'm standing there, and then he stayed, right close to me like this. I could feel his hot breath on my head. He's just looking into my eyes and stuff, right? And I'm looking at him like looking back like, nigga, what? He thought I was gonna be all wild and stuff. I knew what he was doing. And but still, I mean, imagine that in a situation where you were on a date with a guy and you were attracted to him, and he had done all this exciting stuff, and then he polished it off with that shit. Every woman I know's drawers would have fell to the floor. And it was like, because he just was standing, just like standing there looking in my eyes with this little half smile on his face. And that shit is sexy. So, that's what I'm saying. You guys who don't understand how women's minds work, and you think that you show up with your job and your paycheck and your degree and your apartment and your car keys, and you think that every woman's gonna want to fall all over herself to get with you, you'll never get a woman like that. The competition is too fierce, my brothers. It's too fierce. There's not only other black men out here doing well, you got the competition of the men of other races who are into black women. So you trying to feel like you got this market cornered and that you deserve something. It's not gonna happen. Sisters are swirling more and more. Their standards are getting higher and higher. Now, of course, there's always gonna be that element that stays in the hood and have babies by knuckleheads and all that stuff. We can't really deal too much with them. They're gonna stay there until they decide that's not what they want. I'm talking about the women who are already past that phase. They're already out of college. They're doing great and well and wonderful things. They want a man who's on that level. They want a man who's going to stimulate their mind. And so, you scared of guys who are too adventurous? Not me. Not me. I'm like, shit. Yeah, girl, but I'm telling you, he had my number. See, that would have been all kinds of fucked up about behind that man. I could already tell. I would have been walking around whirling my panties like this. Catch! Because that would have just been an awful thing for me. But you have to know your limits. I mean, I know what I like, and I know mentally and emotionally, but I also know when to put on the brakes. Certain things I'm just not gonna do. All right, so let's see. And then so that was the romance and passion part that I'm talking about. Because it's like I had to stop. I had to catch myself and remember who this was, because immediately your heart starts beating harder and stuff, and somebody's looking at you like that, and the person looking back at you is fine, and they got that smile on their face, and you just had a good time. You all laughing and you got all these endorphins going and stuff, right? And then they hit you with that passion move. What you gonna do? Ladies, come on now. I know I can't be the only one. Don't be trying to front. Don't be fronting out there, y'all. Trying to act like, yo, girl, that wouldn't be me. You know it would. Um, I think too. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what might be a date that you might think of. I mean, think of something. Um, yeah, but Faith, honey, that was hard because he was so fine. It was just ridiculous. We had a lot. I mean, we spent a lot of time together. I guess you might have called it some kind of dating, but I never called it that. But we spent a lot of time together over about an 8 month period. Yeah, it was longer than that. Hmm. But yeah, but yeah, run. That's exactly the where I went with it. Flee to safety. What do you guys do? Um, what do you think is an out of the box date? What might you like to do with a guy that no one has ever done with you before? Put that in the chat because I'll see all these questions I'm asking you are going to be part of this video. They will be in the talk, in the chat stream so people can read them. It won't be on the video, the oral part, or oral, auditory, auditory part, but it will be in the written chat that they was part of the live stream, and they'll be able to go and read it. So what you're doing is coming up with, ladies, you're gonna put in the chat, type in your chat some things that you would have loved to do on a date that no guy has ever done with you before. Never suggested it, never asked if you want to do it. What might those things be? And just put that in the chat room. Okay? Put those ideas in there because what we want to do is show these boring men that there's a lot of stuff that they can think about that they haven't thought about. They want to do the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over to where you just want to kill yourself because the shit is so fucking boring. I had a guy take me to, he was from New Orleans. And there's this Zydeco place in Alameda. I didn't know nothing about it. But he's like, let's go dancing. You know me, I'm thinking this club dancing. So I'm about to put on my hoochie gear. And he's like, oh no, we're going Zydeco dance. I didn't know what the fuck Zydeco was, right? So I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, that's, the Louisiana folks down in Cajun or country, Cajun's music or something. And I'm like, oh, that Geechee stuff? And he's like, you know what you know about it? I'm like, I don't know nothing really, but let's go. So it was something new, right? So we go to the place. Most of the people in there were old. And so we went and, I learned how to Zydeco dance. Now, it's not something I would want to necessarily do all the time or anything, but it was fun. I met some really nice old people, got invited to some folks' house, had some wonderful gumbo, and that's how I learned how to make etouffee and all this stuff. And then, I mean, it was an adventure for me, and I learned something, and it took a lot away from it. So, after I stopped dating him and stuff, I never went back, but it was fun while I was in it. And so it was a different date for me. It may have been something he was used to, but he knew it was new to me, and that's what counts. Hmm. Okay, that's good. Keep them coming. You guys got some great stuff. I see some great stuff over here. These will be great ideas for guys who are so fucking clueless they don't know what to do with a woman on a damn date. These ladies are giving you some major hookup information here, dudes. I hope you paying attention. Ladies, you can pay other women too. But, if a guy asks you, well, what you want to do, give him one of these ideas if you can't think of nothing yourself. And just do some shit that's different. Just shit that's new, different, exciting. Something that's going to make a memory in your life. Like here it is, I don't even know how many years later. I'm still talking about that date I had where I watched the hookers on downtown Oakland. He also took me, we went fishing a bunch of times. We went bowling one time. He's the one who took me ice skating in downtown San Francisco where I fell down on the ice more than I skated. just always something different. And he was always talking about stuff that got my mind going. What if and the possibilities and what we could do this and that and blah blah blah. And how would you handle it if we did blah blah? And it was always with being with him was very exciting. It was never boring, ever. So this one article says there's this one scientist named Ram Rothman. It's a psychology research. Says there are five conversation and social interaction falls into one of five main categories based on how emotionally open they require us to be. So, number one is social level social conversation. Oh, like, how's it going? How are you? That's just surface shit. I mean, you don't even really care if they answer. It's just, you just say it because good morning. How was your weekend? That's that kind of stuff. Just surface level stuff. Okay, number two, level two is facts. It's sunny outside. Okay, you're sharing that with someone. With your doctor. I feel like I have a fever. I've gained 20 pounds. I want to, I don't know, whatever. I mean, when you just facts about, I got an A on my test. My commute is 20 miles or whatever it is. Those are sharing factual information that person may have asked you for. You know that they need to know this information. Number three, preferences or evaluations. Someone might ask you, well, so you grew up in San Francisco, Deb, how did you like that? Okay, so they're asking me for my preference or an evaluation of my, life growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area. They might follow that up by saying, well, you've lived other places too. How does it compare? Okay, so now that's the preferences and evaluations. Someone might ask you, oh, no, we're going to go to the restaurant. Would you rather have steak or seafood? Okay, you give it that, you have to evaluate which one is your preference and then you explain it. Okay, so then number four, feelings. Okay, now we're getting deeper. This is when we start getting into people who are close to us, our intimate partners, and people who are trying to become intimate partners. You need to express your feelings to them, and they need to express theirs to you. There's an exchange. That's how you develop intimacy. When you have someone who's very hesitant to do that, it stifles the relationship, it stonewalls things, and the person who was sharing the emotions tends to withdraw because they're not feeling anything coming back. It's like a one-way thing, and they just getting nothing back but cold. Um, and then point number five, he calls it the here and now, in which example he gives is a guy who might say, at first I was nervous to come over and say hi to you, and then, but, blah, 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 blah. So he's relating something to the here and the now. The number one way that men fuck up is they don't never get to point four and five talking about their feelings and the here and now. If you're in a situation with a woman, or you want to meet a woman and stuff, you're supposed to look around in the environment or talk to her about what's going on right here, right now, because it does two things. One, it shows her that you're observant. You're paying attention to what she's doing, what's going on around her, to the point where you can make a comment about, something that upset her. Maybe you saw somebody, talk to her or something, and you say, oh, I was standing there, I saw your face kind of twist up when dude said whatever he said. What did he say? I'm curious. Something like that. Okay, that's conversation about what's happening right now. That's not like, oh, let me introduce myself. I'm Jonathan Watson Creation the Third from St. Louis, and my family owns a series of dry cleaner establishments. I went to Harvard, and I have my MBA from Pepperdine, and so I really would like to get to know you. That's how she's gonna be looking at you. Like, what? What's that got to do with me? Here and now, dude. Hi. You had the most beautiful smile. I was watching you laughing and stuff from across the way. Can I get you a drink? My name is so-and-so. How hard is that? But that's not what you guys do. You don't come with the heat. Man, if I was a dude, I would be just a straight player. I would just have all the women, like miles and miles of women. Yeah, fish. You got to pay for a fishing license. It's not free. Look at all these great suggestions. You guys got some good ideas. See, going out with you would be fun if they ever would get on the stick and do it. Here and now, he goes on to explain, is when you comment on what the other person is feeling or thinking and how it relates to you. Oh, okay. I suppose I guess my examples kind of covered that. I don't know. I didn't read this part. Oh, and then he gives another one that says, so if you feel weird about hitting on a woman in front of her friends, a lot of guys won't do that. Say, I had to risk embarrassing the hell out of myself to hit on you in front of your friends. Sure, this is out of the ordinary, but most of the time they're sure to laugh and appreciate your awareness of their perspective and relevant social norms. Hmm. Okay, well, whatever. Toss. Next. Do they even go to the library at all? I don't think they go to the library at all around here. I wouldn't even know where the shit was. Okay, then there's this article from Business Insider. This was really interesting because, of course, they're talking about from a business perspective, and they round up 15 classic traits of boring people. And it's number one: boring people have unbalanced conversations. That means, like in a normal conversation, you say something, I respond. I say something, you respond. There's laugh, 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 high five. Okay, so that's how the conversation goes. That's how it usually goes amongst women. Soon as you get a man though involved in it, if he's the wrong kind of dude, he's gonna overtalk you. He's gonna interrupt you. He's gonna dominate the conversation. You're trying to explain something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then which is basically is designed to shut you down. Is extremely rude. And so I mean, it's like there's no exchange. It's a one-sided conversation. It's more like a lecture than it is a conversation because he's talking and you just supposed to be his sounding board. Um, they also say that boring people can't tell if others are engaged in the conversation. But see, that's back to what I was saying. It's like to me, when I was reading all these traits, because I looked online and I was reading all stuff, it just triggered to me that these boring people have a lot of the traits and behaviors and attitudes of people that are on the autism spectrum. So I'm wondering if anybody's ever connected those two. Not to say that you have to have autism to be boring, or that everybody with autism is boring, but I'm saying the behaviors and the way that they respond and the analysis of conversation. The first level response is not with empathy; it's from here. Okay, and that's how certain people on the spectrum do. Man, you guys are creative. This would be unbelievable. You can't fish free. You can't fish free in your state. Oh, not here. You better have a license. I think by the time you 5 or 6, you got to have a license. There are different prices. Like seniors is one price, kids is one price. And then they have limits on how many you can catch too, and what size the fish has to be. I mean, it's all done for conservation purposes. And the serious fishermen are very. I mean, they have little ruler thing. They'll take it out, measure the fish, and if the fish is too small, they throw it back so it can continue to grow, then be eaten later. It's kind of messed up. Number three, boring people can't make others laugh. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It says if you can make people laugh, you probably have an easier time picking up a date. Well, shit, I should have dates lined up for miles then. Boring people never have anything to say in a conversation. Hmm. There's a loud bore who believes he's the most interesting person there is. And then there's the ones that every time you ask them something, I don't know, sort of, maybe, I guess, shit, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Don't you hate when they do that? Why don't you know any damn thing? You dumb shit. That shit gets on my nerves. Boring people always do the same thing. Yes, I was just telling you about my dude that I used to date. Oh my God, he was just want to do the same thing. And dudes, they like to go to the same bar, right? They like to drink the same drink all the time, the same drink. My dad was like that. If it wasn't Hennessy, he didn't want no parts of it. I'm like, Daddy, can't you try something else? Nope. I like Hennessy, and that's what I'm sticking with. And that's all he would ever drink. So we wanted to get him a gift. They just get him some Hennessy, and you knew it would be well received. Boring people don't have their own opinions. Now we're getting into the crux of the matter where we talk about these young lads that we meet online. Who do they what do they spout? Rhetoric. How do they spout? The same thing that every other knucklehead online has said, right? It's like almost word for word like a playbook. They don't have an original thought in their fucking heads to save their life. Nothing about them is original. And it drives me crazy. So, it's all the same. You women, you're going to hit the wall. And, oh, you only like thugs. You don't like nice guys. And, that's what you're going to have all these babies. And that's why you get abandoned and this and that. Just the same shit over and over and over and over. Feminism destroyed the black family. It's feminism is everything. You women aren't ways to be wives anymore because you don't know how to submit. Same shit. I must have heard it a million times, seriously, over these last 10 years. The exact same things over and over and over. It just makes me feel like it's ripping all my hair off. He says, but born people don't know how to tell a good story. Story is good because you have to be able to engage people in the conversation. And when you learn to do, that's why Toastmasters and things like that, even if you take it in school, if you have an opportunity as a high school or college student, take a speech class, public speaking, debate, whatever they want to, whatever they call it. Take that class because it's good for several reasons. One, it will teach you how to organize your thoughts so that when you are in a situation where you have to share your opinion or you have to present an opposing view of some other person, it could be your boss, it could be another team, it could be whatever, you will know how to do that in a way that is articulate and fact-based and powerful. Okay, so you won't be just roaming around all over just throwing out random things. Your stuff will be sequential and it will make sense and it will be delivered in a way that makes people say, well, damn, I never thought of it like that. That's what you want. And also, I think for dating purposes, that kind of ability, they train you to think on your feet because you are in a situation where you're not going to be aware, you're not going to have advanced notice of what the other party's arguments are, what they're going to say. It requires you to think on your feet, hear, analyze, dig through your Rolodex, your mental Rolodex, and come up with your answers and deliver them in a powerful way that shoots their shit down. That's why nobody ever wins an argument with me. So, I think that it's a good technique for men to have, and a lot of guys don't really speak. I mean, it's well known scientifically that baby boys learn to speak and slower than girls do, and their speech is less developed, and they have less of a vocabulary in general. There are exceptions, of course, but I think that follows young men in ways that are detrimental to their romantic life. I was talking about this to this woman today. She has a son who I think she said he's 15 or 16. And no, I'm sorry. She has a 15-year-old girl. Her son's 27 now. And she was talking about how much easier he was as a teenager. She said she thinks that the girls are far more intelligent and that they stay more focused on things, and where he was so easily distracted. She said he would be thinking about something and he would be like, squirrel. And she demonstrated it, and we all fell out laughing because we know that's how males are. They just so easily distracted by something. But I think that if guys really learned how to speak well and how to think on their feet about situations, they would have so much better interaction with women. So the woman might say something that you're not expecting, right? You could think fast on your feet and you would come up with something witty and funny to say back to her that would make her relax and make her give you a second look. But that requires that you learn how to speak to people and that you not be afraid. Yes, you got to join Toastmasters. I don't think they really charge you anything. There's like a fee, you got to bring some food or so. I don't know. It's different in different ones. But basically, there are people there that are excellent public speakers that will coach you and teach you how to do it without charge. You have to give some, you have to get up there and do speeches, but of course, there's no way that you become good at something unless you practice. And when you practice, then, they read you, they tell you what you did well and tell you what areas where you can improve, and then you keep working on it until you get to where you want to be. There's nothing bad that can come out of not knowing how to be a good public speaker. It works well when you're on job interviews. It works well if you should suddenly have a mic shoved in your face at a conference or something, or you walking down the street and they're doing interviews for a television show. You want to be able to represent, okay? Don't be one of these mumbly mouth, well, because I, blah, blah, blah. Nigga, what? What? Okay, don't be that fool. Okay, you need to know how to speak to somebody and speak up and be articulate. It's a wonderful habit to have, ability to have. Okay, so then he says, number 8, boring people don't have anything new to add. He says it's basically that we're hardwired to seek novelty, but if you don't provide anything new to the listener, they won't be stimulated. Well, that's kind of duh. Boring people can't see things from other people's perspectives. In other words, they're just sticking to muds. It's like, don't confuse me with the facts my mind's made up. That's the way a lot of them think. So even though you may have a different idea that would totally do things for them that would be better, it would be faster, it would be more profitable, it would be whatever, they don't want to hear it. And so their mind is closed. And when you have somebody like that in a relationship, he's closed to listening to what you have to say. He's closed to problem solving. He's closed to power distribution. He's closed to anything. And so the relationship, as you know, is not going to change. It's not going to improve. And so why the fuck would you stay in it? He also writes point 10, boring people don't include anybody else in the conversation. They drone on ad nauseum, talking about themselves, their perspective, what they know, what they have, where they've gone, who they know. And so you're just sitting there. It's like a soliloquy. And it's like, okay, can I say something? Hello? I'm over here. Okay, boring people have poor improv skills. Oh, they prepare a script for every conversation and can't deviate from it, he writes. Good conversationalists don't have to say the right thing. They just have to say something the other person can feed off of. Conversation should be like a game of catch. And if you don't throw that ball back, game over. Boring people speak in a monotone. Someone mentioned that earlier in the chat. I saw that go flying by. The partner who speaks in a monotone automatically gets placed in the boring category. It makes people think that you're serious when you're being sarcastic, that no one can ever tell when you're excited about something, and that everyone assumes that you just hate everything. And it makes you look dumb. So, but it just makes you look like robotic and I mean, who want to talk to somebody? You're talking to them, right? Oh, well, tell me about your day. Well, I got up. I went to the bus stop. I waited for the bus. I took the bus to work. There were some kids from school that were on the bus. And then I got off the bus. And then I went upstairs and sat at my desk. And my boss was late. And then I started working. And I had a lot of spreadsheets that I had to work on. It was pretty awful. And then I went to lunch. Okay, you lost me. I'm gone. He spent $100. Oh my God. Yeah, give him his $100 back. Boring people are constantly negative. Oh my God, that's right. Nothing you do is good enough. Nothing is ever good enough. You always full of negativity. Everything is, why me? Why? Nobody likes me. Nothing hates me. This isn't good enough. Everything's screwed. All my whole life is messed up. It's just everything out of their mouth is a negative and it's a complaint. It's like, okay, you just like a serious downer. And nobody wants to be around people that complain all the fucking time and whine all the goddamn time and don't do anything to change the situation that they're complaining and whining about. Nobody wants to hear that. Oh my God, it's like, people want to be around people who are exciting, like I told you guys earlier, who are spontaneous and full of joy and passion, excitement, and surprises. Okay, people want to be around people like that. They don't want to be around somebody who makes them feel like they need to just jump into a vat of rum. It's like, come on now. Yeah, they monotone in the bedroom too. Babe, that was great. Ah, oh my God, this is unbelievable. He says, and boring people repeat themselves. Yes, they do. They tell the same shit over and over and say it in different words, but you already heard what they had to say the first time. So you don't need to say it to me 19 times more in different words with using different words or even the same words. I don't want to hear that anymore. Boring people, number 15. Boring people are always bored. People who have a habit of saying they are always bored or boring. My mother used to tell us that because we would say, Mom, and I'm going to tell you how she fixed that shit too. So we learned quick not to do that. Mommy, that's what we used to call it. Mommy, I'm bored. My mother would say, there's no such thing as being bored. There's only boring people. So, you go away as a kid and you're like, what's that mean? What's she trying to say? Am I boring? And so then you get kind of bent out of shape. So then, when we got older, that's when we were real small, right? So we get older now. We like adolescents, and my brothers in their teens, right? Everybody's strong and tall. They lifting weights and doing, kung fu and shit. So my mother's like, oh. So here they go. Mom, we're bored. We're bored. My mother would start pointing to buckets and mops and brooms and cleaning wipes and shit. Honey, she would make clean. When we lived in Victoria with them little window panes, like that little window pane that went almost up to the ceiling. And she would make niggas get up there and clean every one of them windows, them little squares, and clean that shit and clean all because you lived on a busy street, so you know how the dust comes in under the windowsill. She cleaned the windowsills, and we got to sweep we had hardwood floors, they get dust. So we got to sweep those, and every summer we had to strip them and wax them. Every summer we knew that was what we was going to be doing for 3 days because our house was big. So we did that every summer. Oh my God, my mother did not play. So you learn real quick. Don't ever tell that woman that you was bored because she'd find some shit for you to do. And it would not be fun. So we would make up shit that we was doing. So when she would say, "Are anybody bored?" Oh no, we not bored. Nope, nope, Mom, we're sure not. What about guys who uh, complain? They want to have points given to them for being nice. They're nice, and then they complain to you because they're not. You don't give them points for being nice because nice doesn't do shit. I mean, nice is good. Don't get me wrong. It's better than being a jerk. But you got to have something more on top of the nice because just being nice to yourself, I mean, it's like, okay, like say you want a job, right? Because getting in a relationship is like applying for a job. You're applying for the job to be her man, okay? And you come and you stand up there and you say, but I'm a nice guy. Okay. Why should she pick you over the 15 other nice guys that's also standing there? It's just like an employer. What are you going to do to stand out, to get her attention, to make her smile, to make her happy, to let her know that you are the man for the job and only you, and your qualifications are better in every single way? How are you going to do that? Because see, sitting there around and complaining that she didn't pick you and she did, you're a nice guy and you don't know why she didn't pick you. See, that's a bitch move. And she's guaranteed to hate your guts on that one. So you got to think, okay, I'm in competition. This is like a job interview. I'm going for this $150,000 a year salary job. Everybody got the basic foundations here. Everybody's a nice guy. What do I got on top of that that's going to get her attention and make her pick me? And what that is personality. And the traits that I was telling you earlier, if you just came in, because it looks like people are going in and out, it just came in. You need to offer a woman excitement. You need to have a good sense of humor so you can make her laugh. You bring her joy. You bring her happiness. You bring her your passion for life, for her, and for whatever your interests are. That's what women need to see in you. And you come talking with a monotone, you're too scared to do anything, you're scared to try anything new, so you just stay in this little safe box of doing the same thing all the time, eating the same way all the time, even having sex the same. You do the same moves in the same order for the same length of time, in the same position, in the same setting, over and over. Please, let me tell you, that's not going to work. you'll never get a woman. Or even if you get her, she won't be long term. She gonna see that your ass is boring and she gonna be out. And that's like, and you would have done that to yourself. Being nice is not enough. Okay, look at all the nice women sitting up in churches still single. Because no man wanted them. All they are is nice. They don't have nothing, that makes a man feel passion and excitement for them. It's the same shit. You women clinging to their Bibles and talking about the Lord every time you turn around. That shit's boring too. So, you guys hearing this, I mean, this is something that you need to think about. Well, they think they nice. I'm just saying, Miss Britt. I didn't say where they are or not. I'm just saying what they call themselves, okay? Keep that in mind. That's what Deb said, what they call themselves. I did not say anything about, what they really are. They're boring in a group. Yeah, they are. Even when you see them and they relating to each other. They talk about the most boring stuff. And when men get together, when they're kind of a conversation, like say they're talking about their hobbies or interests or something, it's not really a conversation where they're sharing their passion. Have you ever noticed that? I have three brothers and I grew up listening to me and my uncles and everything. It's not that. What they're talking about is why their shit is better than yours. It's always a competition. Well, you might, work on cars, but I have my name on a car, and in my garage is this fully restored blah 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 car, and so I'm more of a car person than you are, or my what I build is better than what you build. You only build birdhouses, I build bookshelves and this. Okay, you both carpenters or build wood people or whatever. I mean, what fucking difference does it make? But that's not what they do. See, everything with them is about a competition and one-upping the other one. It's about their ego. And that's the kind of conversation they're used to having with each other. And then they carry that over into relationships with women, and then they get burnt out and tossed out, and they don't understand what went wrong. It's like you can't relate to women the way that you did with men. Women want to feel your heart, motherfuckers. If you even have one, they want to feel your heart. They want to feel an emotional connection to you. And that's what they don't understand. When a woman has that emotional connection to her man, that's why I was telling you, women are going to always know everything about you. She wants to know, she will know what you're thinking sometimes before you even do. She can tell by the way your breathing change, the way your pulse accelerates, the look in your eye. Women can read you. Women are very in tune with the people that are around them. Women are great empaths. So that is what, whereas men are like information seekers and sharers, and they like to build and construct. I mean, they like tangible shit. See, emotions are intangible, and so men don't understand them. But without emotions and women, this world would be a shithole. It's going that way anyway, because men are like, trying to do everything they can to squelch women's energy, and not realizing that, there needs to be a balance of the energy that comes forth from women's hearts and that this comes from men's minds. There has to be a balance. Everybody can't be all emotion and you can't be all mental, because then it doesn't work. There has to be a yin and a yang so that everything fits together and works together. It's unbelievable. Yeah, they do. But there's, that's not really. I don't know what those kind of dusties are trying to do, because they don't qualify as being good guys either. They're not trying to be attached to anybody emotionally or anything. They're just men that you ladies have to learn to recognize and get out of your world as quickly as possible. You know. What is this? So okay, the guys don't have any interests or passions. You met men like that. They don't have any hobbies. All they do is watch TV. That's why when I go to people's homes, and I quickly see that they have TVs in every room. Some people even have a TV in their kitchen. So they can't, they want to watch a show while they're cooking. I would never do that, because knives, see, me and knives have had some issues in the past. And if I was distracted by that, I'd probably be missing a finger by now. So, TVs. I have one TV in my whole house, and it has Netflix on it, and that's it. That's what we watch. You watch it if it ain't on Netflix or one of them channels that you can get on the Roku. Then we not watching it, not here. So, a lot of people don't want to come to my house because they can't see, the latest TV shows and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, that's fine. No, nobody will miss you. Trust. So, but I see people that have like all those TVs. I know that those are some boring individuals. They're only going to be able to regurgitate what they saw or heard from a television show. And that's kind of scary to me, especially when they have children. They're not really spending time teaching those children how to think and how to problem solve and how to do things that require them to get out the box. It also bothers me when you have, how you have, there's movies that come out, right, that require you to think. I mean, they don't just give you the answer. They don't just give you the plot. You have to think and follow things through. It was like that with that Kevin Spacey movie, where he played Kaiser Sose. What was the name of that movie? But anyway, it got like all these kudos and okay, I was dating this guy. He didn't get the movie. He's like, that movie was stupid. I'm like, what? He just didn't get it. And I was like, wow. If tell us, is there a link between boring and omega men? Mm, no. Well, I mean, maybe, but there's alpha men that are boring too. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily say that. This is more, um, interpersonal interaction type of thing. So someone could be, very assertive in other areas, very go-getterish, all this stuff, stand up for themselves, take the lead, make shit happen, all this kind of stuff on a professional level or even on a social level. But I'm talking about on an interpersonal level, which was what is we're talking about in relation to a woman finding a man boring or not, and choosing him to be her partner based on the fact that he's not boring her to death. That's a completely different thing, and that can be The Usual Suspects. That's right. That movie was the shit to me, and he just didn't get it, and I immediately lost interest in him because I thought he was stupid. He liked those movies where the answer was right in your face, where it didn't require you to think or follow a plot or pay attention to stuff. I like intrigue and that kind of stuff. That's why I like that. I just love those kinds of movies. And the what was the one with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt? Uh, Something about the sins, but I forgot what the name of that one is too. Love that shit. Um, that really, especially at the end when he was fighting with himself. You could see the spiritual struggle he was having. Am I gonna kill him? Am I gonna what? I just want to kill him, but I know that I should do it because I'm a cop. He's just like, but this motherfucker, I just want him to die. And he was just struggling. And I'm watching. I'm like, what's he gonna do? Brad Pitt, it was a fabulous actor in his day, and so that was another one. But yeah, he didn't. What was it called? 7, 9, whatever it was. But anyway, it was called Seven. Okay, yeah, okay, 7, 9. I couldn't remember. That movie was the shit. The acting in that was fabulous. They both of them was just unbelievable. But mainly that scene with Brad Pitt at the end was just off the hook. That he did the damn thing. So what I'm saying, when I have a man who gets that kind of stuff, then I know he'll get me. Cause then at the end of that, we could have been like, well, fuck, damn, did you see it? And talked about it. Would have been this exciting, stimulating conversation about the pros and cons of religion and this nut who was doing this and why was he doing it and all this. Okay, it would have been a great conversation, but we didn't get to have it because he didn't get it. Oh, thank you for elaborating. Yeah, I like to elaborate. I want everybody to leave. I want you to understand, where I'm coming from when I talk about stuff. Yeah. And I mean, like, I like to break stuff down because every movie has the ones I like anyway, has a human element to it that goes deeper than what you're just seeing. If you're seeing a great actor portray a role, it's going to require you to put yourself in that person's place and imagine what they're feeling for that scene to happen, for that expression to be displayed, for that curiosity, that emotion to come out. what was going on in their head. And when you really get into it like that, the movies take on a whole new, it's a whole new world for you. And you got some dude who just don't fucking get it. He just wants to see some crash and dash movies like that, movies with Paul, what's his face in them, and Ludacris where they were smashing cars and shit. I mean, that shit is cute, I guess. If, you like that kind of stuff, but I don't want to see. That's the only kind of music movie that you like. That's the only kind of internet you don't want to watch on TV. That you want to watch at the movie theater. I mean, everything somebody crashing and flames and cars being wrecked and stuff. Okay, we don't have too much in common. This is not gonna work. Yeah, we only got 50 likes. How come it's like been hundreds of people in and out of this chat room? Because you see the number dropping, they come back up and dropping, come back up. So there's new people coming and going, coming and going. Come on, y'all, like the video. What's everybody doing around here? Just click the like. It won't hurt. It's painless. And then, you can feel free to share it too. And don't have to be this video. Just share anything. So like if every visitor shared one video, it would really help the channel grow a lot. Just one. That's all you got to do. One video. Everybody share one. Find one you like. It's almost 500 videos on the channel now. I'm trying to make it to the 500 mark by the end of the month. I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. I think I'm at 480 something, but ooh, that would be a lot of talking. I don't know if I got that much in me. So that's what, I wanted to say. I noticed there were some great ideas for out the box dates here, for both men and women to take a look at. And, of course, different climates, your money situation. I mean, there might be some limits and things you have to adjust. I understand that. I'm in California in the part where it doesn't really snow. So, we can pretty much do shit like this year round. But other areas, people be snowed in or it's ice and, all the stuff. So they're not going to be able to do a lot of the stuff that might be on the list, at least not right now. So, but, it's a great list. Keep it in mind. I also wrote an article that I'll have to find because I wrote it for the Examiner when it was still online. 25 dates to do in the San Francisco Bay Area for less than $25 or less. 25 dates for $25 or less. Of course, the price probably went up since I wrote it, but that's all right. Uh, you know, it's still great ideas for other little dates. But I think with all of this, this should give you guys an idea, the men who are listening, an idea of why women are not choosing you. If you find that any of your behaviors are some of these that we discussed tonight, the very negative things that women find boring and a turnoff, then you need to adjust your behavior. Because getting online and ranting and raving to women about, why they don't choose you and women are this, horrible names because you're angry at being rejected and all of this stuff, you portray yourself to be a bitter bum. Okay, bitter bums don't get no booty. Okay, I'm using all these B's for a reason. So you need to, work on that and figure out a way to present yourself in a way that women will find interesting and exciting and fun and that they'll want to be around you. That's what you want. You're like woman repellent right now. You make women just want to flee. You like raid and shit. So it's like you want a woman to want to be around you, the women to text you and to be calling you and to ask you out maybe once or twice or something. I mean, you got to change the way that you are. And being mad at women for wanting what they want is just like I gave the analogy a week or two ago when I talked about going fishing. You can't get mad at fish that live in lakes for wanting worms. You can't be mad at fish that live in the oceans for wanting smaller fish or sardines or whatever the pile worms and all the shit that they like to, just yucky looking stuff that they like to bite on. You can't get mad at trouts for biting on lures. That's what they like. And little crawfish for liking chicken. And I mean, you gotta give, when you're trying to catch something, no matter what it is, you give that thing what it needs to be attracted to you so that you can catch it. Okay, this is a very simple concept. It has nothing to do with men personally. This is the law of nature. If you want to catch something, you have to use the right bait. And you guys are not using the right bait. You're using some sour, just dour, mean, bitter ass shit. profanity of women, name calling them, putting them down, and all this kind of stuff, and you actually think somebody's gonna want to be bothered with you? You really think that? Then that shows that you're retarded. And I know that word has fallen out of favor, but I don't care. Because that move, that kind of thought process is retarded. So you can get what you want, but the person who's in charge of you getting what you want is you, not the women that you mad at. It's you. The only thing that these women that all rejected you have in common is you. Okay, they're fine with other dudes, but they're not fine with you. So what does that tell you? That means the problem is you. And you take you everywhere you go. And everywhere you go, women don't want to be bothered with you. So that ought to be a clue that you need to do something different. I'm like, this rocket science? I'm just, seriously, I mean, I be looking, because you go around and you see these posts and these comments these dudes make, and it's like they big each other up with all this vitriol and stuff. And it's like, women are looking at this, and there's your picture right there. You using your real name and shit. You talking about the area you live in and whatnot. And like I said, somebody always know, even if you use a fake name and a fake picture, somebody in the real world knows who you are. And word will get out. Don't think you live in a vacuum in some hole in the ground where nobody's going to know anything. Somebody, at least in your family, knows your screen name and knows what you posted and knows who you are. And they're going to tell it. And then you're not going to get any dates because the word is going to spread. So you really need to stop doing that and putting shit like that online. That's really a dumb thing to do. They might choose the wrong woman. That's true too. But I'm saying, they still might not get chosen, but at least they would have a nice interaction with women. They don't even get a conversation because of the way that they act. You know what I mean? You could laugh and talk and stuff and have a good evening with the guy. That doesn't mean that you want to date him or fuck him or marry him. It doesn't mean that at all. But at least when these guys went out, somebody would talk to him and somebody would laugh to him and somebody would dance with them, and they would have a good time while they were out. But it's all in their presentation, and that's what's missing. And I'm trying to let them know, if your ass is in this category of boring men and you are a turn off to women have nothing at all interesting about you, then that's your fault, and you need to do something different. Yeah. Well, I don't know about strippers. See, the real argument with black women want thugs is that that's their excuse for dating Becky because he's rich, black, square. Well, I don't know about that either. Because, they don't need an excuse to date Becky. Becky don't want their ass either. They're boring. I mean, women are the same there. If you a boring fuck, you just a boring fuck and don't nobody want to be bothered with you. Now, if you have some money, though, a lot of women will be bothered with you because they want your money. But that's not because you're boring. They're going to be cheating on your ass and getting their entertainment with some other dudes. That's just how that's going to go. And as long as you okay with that, then that's fine. But your bottom line is, don't be talking about my boy Obama, okay? And plus, this is not a boy talking about uh, the ex-president. We're talking about boring men, and he's not one. Don't be talking about my boy in my chat, Lady Boss. We're gonna be fighting. We're gonna be having a battle of the exes. Well, to what's her name? What? McDonald's is a date. Well, you're right. Actually, I did have a dude try to take me to McDonald's one day. He took me to McDonald's. I didn't eat that shit. I haven't eaten that shit. Child, and I was glad I stopped eating it too because when my daughter was little, I didn't know no better, and I used to get her some Happy Meals sometimes. And not all, maybe like once a quarter or something like that. She had a couple of them a couple of times a year. And when I sold my old car, I had to take, I've cleaned it out. You know how you vacuum it? And I found a McDonald's French fry. Now, keep in mind that my daughter hadn't had a Happy Meal in the back in that car seat for probably 15 years because the car was old. And so I'm like, wow, this French fry had no mold and no decay. I swear to God, this is a true story. So I'm holding this thing, right? I'm looking at it, no signs of mold, no green stuff, no decay, perfectly shaped, perfectly formed. Had been in that car and tucked down in the seat. So I don't know how much air it got exposed to, no light or anything. So I don't know, maybe it was a perfect environment to preserve it. I don't really know. And but it was way down in there. So I take the French fry, right, and I put it in the house. I put it in a glass of water to see what was gonna happen so it could rehydrate. That shit looked just like it had just come from a McDonald's. I was scared of McDonald's food after that. I mean, I already didn't eat it, but after that, that shit was scary. It's like this shit got a nuclear half life. No. So I don't know people who eat McDonald's French fries. French fry gonna still look fresh after 16 years in a car. I'm like, oh, oh, it was a somebody named that. Oh, okay. Then my apologies. I said, because I thought we was gonna have to be okay. Good. Well, then he need to be blocked. How dare he? Oh, this is funny. So that's the whole thing here. I don't know. I can't really say it's about that because I know a lot of the white boys that are born they end up with Asian women, and you know what the Asian women do? They stay here and they learn English and they deal with them as long as they can stand to it. And they're boring as fuck, and then they divorce them and go get somebody else that's exciting, and then they had the dude's money to go make it even that much more exciting when they go. But they have all these stereotypes in their head about Asian women being submissive and all that stuff. And they play the role. They play the role because they know that's what the dudes want. It's so easy. It's just so ridiculous. But most of us don't even feel like that because you don't want to be bothered. You're not that desperate for some money because you got your own. But you got these people coming from these third world countries and stuff. They looking for a come up. And so, they do what they gotta do. I'm not hating on them. I'm like, do what you need to do, my sister. Make the magic happen. Yeah, just buy your own drink. Yep, that's what you do. Yeah, they do that. That's a turn off too, and that's boring too. It's like it kills any sense of excitement and romance and stuff. They don't understand it. They feel like, well, she just trying to use me for a drink. And in reality, it's like, if you ask the woman out or you trying to deal with a woman, you trying, flirt with her, or whatever, and you get her a drink. What's the drink? Like $6, $7? Nobody's asked you to give her booze all night. You're just getting the one drink. And you sit there and you talk to them, stand there, talk to the woman, or whatever. You all drink your little drinks, you toast and whatnot, and you chit chat. And then you go on, and if it's not happening, it's not working out, then you just go on about your business. You don't have to buy drinks for women all night either. You buy it only for the ones that you like. And if it's two or three women, okay, so now you out what, $25? I mean, is $25 that big of a deal that it just breaks you? If it is, then maybe you need to stay at home, collect cans and shit or something to augment your income. Or if you something wrong with you, I give $25 to the homeless man down the street. So I mean, it's all relative. They be complaining, oh, these women just want all our money. It's like nobody wants your money. It's like but you want my time, motherfucker. You better get me a drink. You think I'm gonna be sweating my hair out and everything, dance with your fucking ass, and then you don't even want to give me a drink after? I think not. That's just like, tired and boring, and surely to be never seen again. I hope that this video is one that provides guys with a clue into how women assess you, what women think about you, what women are looking for from you when you're talking about taking them out on a date. If you want to get a woman, you want to get a girlfriend, you want to have somebody to love you, you want to move forward to marriage, you have to give that woman something that's going to touch her heart. Now, you got all these pickup artists talking about, they have it's a little catchy name for everything, and they try to get guys to do these little like routines and scripts and all this kind of stuff. You don't have to do all that. I just told y'all what to do, and it was free. So, but you gonna help me out though by sharing a video link and liking the video. That's what you're gonna do. And maybe subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Just click the button. Okay, that's your payment. Cause I just gave you some game that they be charging $1,500 for, and it was free. So you have, all the tools now to not be boring and to be a guy that women want to be around. You don't need a script. You don't need little lines and all this stuff. You don't have to do all that. What you have to do is stop being so self-conscious and stop thinking that women owe you something, because the negativity just oozes from your pores. The scariness. A lot of dudes are just fucking creepy because they have this inside this anger at being rejected all the time. That's why I want you to understand that the rejection that you've been experiencing is your fault. Don't be mad at women. It's you. You need to change something about yourself so you can get the job, right? If you relate it to employment, most men can understand it because a job is a tangible thing. They can understand that. You don't go just up to some employer saying, well, you should hire me because I'm a nice guy. They're going to be like, fuck out of here. What the fuck that's got to do with anything? You don't have no skills. There's nothing about you to would make me choose you over the other 900 applicants for this job. What the fuck is what you got going on that's gonna make me interested? It's the same thing with women. So it's like you guys don't seem to get that though. So I hope that I'm breaking it down in a way that makes it very clear. Getting with a woman is getting a job. Yeah, your job is to be her man. That's what you're applying for. Her husband, the father of her children. You're applying for that position in her life, and you better have the qualifications, and you better make your shit stand out so that she chooses you instead of someone else. Okay, I don't understand why that is just so hard for people. So anybody got a last question before I throw out of here? You do know Nemo? Do they boot you out like we do around here? We don't play that shit here. Oh, you already gave up on them, girl. Don't worry about it. I just, some of them are so young, though. I hate to see them be like that. It's like they haven't even had a chance. They're so young. They're like in their late teens and early 20s. And their minds are already poisoned by these older dudes online who were toxic and stupid for years. And so these young guys are absorbing that negativity. They're still young. I mean, they still have time to change and make all their dreams of being happy and in love and, full of joy and a house full of kids to come true. But as long as they keep focusing and following those knuckleheads, they're going to end up just like them, lonely and bitter and angry and sitting online with no woman to love and no woman to love them. And that is just, to me, a travesty because it's so simple. But it does require them to be devoted to changing. And a lot of them don't. They want to stay sour and bitter and evil acted. And they're like, well, she should love me the way I am. But why? You're not giving her the right bait. Okay? You want the fish to bite. The fish not going to bite on that bait. You're going to be just fishing. And no one's ever going to take a bite of what's on your hook. Because what's on your hook is not attractive to them. Okay? So I don't know any other. Them are my two analogies to use, and I hope that both of them work. Exactly. They're going to be with what my brother used to call them, Palmela. They're going to be dating Palmela and Five Finger Mary. Oh, yeah, well, I never said what age they stopped being stupid. I just said young. I mean, they still young enough, even at 35, to change their life and, find the love that they're looking for. Treat their woman with really, just get to her heart. They try to do this artificial thing where they will, set up, make her comfortable and all this stuff. It's not something that you do as a game. This is somebody's life we're talking about as well as your own. So you don't play with people like that. If you're going to be with the woman, then be with the woman and make her comfortable enough to love you. Not just so you can tap some ass and then spit her out. That's some bullshit. And the fact that they think that that's something that they should teach other men to do just shows how sorry and piece of shit they are. That's not life. That doesn't bring any. I mean, you got a whole bunch of men like that in nursing homes. Now, I worked in adult protective services. Them men are old, and they get their own kids beat them up because they had all these baby mamas and shit, or they're just old and alone because they never hooked up with a woman. No woman ever wanted them. They because they were stupid then, and now they old and stupid. They're old in nursing homes by themselves, slowly dying without anybody that ever gives a fuck about them. They don't have no visitors, nothing. Okay, unless you want that to be you, you better change your shit. Change your shit up while you're still young enough to make a difference in your life. And if you 35 years old or under, it's not too late for you. If you in that 35 to 40 age group, and if you over 40, your ship has sailed, Holmes. So you just gonna be stuck with get you a foreign bride or something, and hope that she don't leave your ass. But most likely she will. So, but that's why I appeal to younger people that are just got off on the wrong step. These young guys, I hate to see them following, spouting all that rhetoric. And you ask them, how old are you? I'm 21. Motherfucker, you still got milk breath and you already talking about all this shit about feminism and all this old stuff. Stop following idiots online. Stop doing that. Follow somebody with some goddamn sense. Why don't you go follow like the dude on Black and Married with Children or something like that? I mean, read up on his shit. Go to 100 Black Men. Go on these sites where there's some guys who are about some leadership and positivity. Stop going on bullshit sites where all they want to do is talk negative about women. I mean, there's all kind of websites, but you say you guys are following this sick shit, and then you want to come around here and spouting that stuff. You go out into the clubs and you want to spout that stuff. No woman's ever gonna want to be with you when you talk to her like that. It's never gonna happen. Yeah, he's like Pamela. He used to say that. That motherfucker. Well, everybody in my family cusses. Said that motherfucker. No, he's talking about he got a girlfriend. His girlfriend is Pamela. Oh, my brothers are more vicious than me, if you could imagine. Older guy, yeah, but I mean they were younger, and then now they're older. But they never stopped following it because they stay. That's what I'm trying to get them to do. It's like if you're at this 35 or under age group, you still have time to change your life. Okay, you have time. You can do this. But just try it my way and see what's happening. That's what I'm saying. He's 21 talking about, these women aren't feminine. Feminists like in the old days. Motherfucker, with the old days to your ass was 1995. Please shut up. Go sit down somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know nothing about the olden days. You were spouting some rhetoric you read online. Boy, go sit down. Unless you dealt with 8-track tapes, you don't qualify to say nothing is olden. Okay? 8 tracks. Anybody here remember 8 tracks? Shit, cassette tapes is pretty old school these days. But no, I'm from the 8-track era. Yeah, they did think they could pimp forever. And then they asked to start breaking down. Dick stopped working. They started getting high blood pressure, having strokes and shit. So this face is drooping. One eye, they got slobber coming down and shit. Can't move one arm. And then they say, hey, Miss Lady, you talk to you for a minute. No, nigga, no. You're not going to talk to me. Go fix your face. That's what you need to do. They got that fucked up attitude, and then now they really all fucked up. And they think somebody gonna be over there changing their diapers and stuff. No, nobody wants you. You should have acted right when you was younger. Yeah, I'm telling you. 8 tracks. I'm telling you, 8 tracks was the bomb. My cousin used to have all them things in a big case like this. And you couldn't even sit in the front because he would have them on the passenger seat in the front so he could pull that out and change it. And the sound sucked. Like now we have like noise canceling mics and everything. That shit was staticky as a motherfucker. But it didn't matter, honey, because we just knew we could request the song and then he would play it. It was the best. Yes, reel to reel. Yep, those they still use those in some studios, except the ones that are digital now. But before that, because the sound quality was better on Reel to Reels. Ah, girl, they don't even be the drunk in the corner. They be the one on the doorstep with their pants half down, done pissed on themselves and everything, and still trying to holler. But see, that's why I'm saying you got to get the younger people to get out of this mindset because this is just a hot mess. And these young guys need to stay off of those woman hating sites and get their minds right. Stop listening to idiots. They just want you to be old and bitter and bootyless and sour and evil like they are. Misery loves company. They're gonna be trying to pull you into the pit with them. You gotta remember, most people are just that crabs and had that crabs in the barrel mentality. They just trying to fuck you over so that you won't be your life won't be better than theirs. Stop falling for it. Don't be dumb. Don't fall for it. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm glad you guys were able to stop by and hear this tonight. I probably have way more to say, but I think this is enough. I think this gives people the idea of what's a boring man and how you can stop being so boring and be more interesting to the opposite sex as well as to your same sex. I mean, you can have more friends. You can have a better time with your friends. People will seek you out. You'll be invited to parties. People will want to be around you when you bring happiness and joy instead of a rain cloud like your ass is Pigpen or somebody. So Eeyore or whatever it was. Who's that? The little rain cloud following one of them. But you want to switch that around. You want to present yourself as a different kind of man, and it's in you to do. You just have to stop focusing on negative and following negative people, and instead think, okay, I want my life to be better. What steps do I need to take to make that happen? And then get off your ass and make it happen. Yeah, it's all about your mindset. Ooh, girl, no, not diabetes, dick. Ugh, that's like superior ash. That's just like the ash, just like a cloud of ash, like atomic ash. Oh, I can't. This is just awful. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. We'll be back. I'll be back either Saturday or Sunday, maybe both. You just never know about me. And but the notice will go out, so be sure that you're a follower of this channel, a subscriber to this channel, and you'll get the notification because you never know when I'm gonna just pop up. I'm famous for that. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com signing out. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye bye.